Hello everyone, my name is Surajveer Sandhu. In this video, we are starting with Houdini from the beginning. Houdini is one of the most powerful software used for VFX simulations, like for fire, destruction, and environments. Right. So in this series, I will explain you Houdini from the basics. So if you are a beginner, you can understand the procedural workflow easily. Okay, even if you are not a beginner, if you have some experience in learning Houdini or you know what Houdini is used for, then this is useful for you also. So when you'll download Houdini, you will get this interface. Okay, um, this is the default interface you will get. I'm using Houdini FX 20.5 version. Um, okay, so let's begin. So first of all, when you open Houdini, this will be the viewport. As you can see, here you can view all those things you will be working on. So you can left click on your mouse and like rotate the scene anywhere you want to. Okay, if you click right click and drag your mouse upwards and downwards, then you can zoom in and zoom out. Okay, and if you hold the middle mouse button, you can drag the scene like this. Okay, these are the parameters menu. Here you can change all the parameters, the values, all those things. Okay, these are the nodes network. Here you will see all your nodes which you will be using to create your scene or to create your effects. Okay, so for now, let me tell you that this is the OBJ level. OBJ level is just a kind of thing like to organize files. We do not work in OBJ files, we work in like inside the OBJ level, inside the geometry level. So I'll explain you what I mean by that. So here are the file options, edit, render, assets. You don't need to like know anything about for right now. Render is for rendering purposes, edit it for some change in settings or anything. File, you can save your project. Also you can, here's the option of new project or set project. So if I click on new project, this will give me your project name, whatever you want to keep your project name, project path. What it will do is it will create a project folder, and whatever the files you will be using, alembic, simulation, digital assets, audio, videos, anything you will be using will be saved on your um, project path. Okay, for now I'm not going to create a new project. You can save your file if you want to. I'm not going to save, but yeah, you should save your file. So here you can see create, box, sphere, tube, torus, grid, null. All of these are the tools you can use to get an object over here. Here are the light, cameras, collision, particles, grains. These are all the effects, and for simulation purposes, I'll explain you later. These are the lights. You can also access these tabs, all of these tools and simulations setups from here, from the tab menu, from the nodes network, sorry. And these are simply the moving rotation and all that. Okay, this is the timeline. This works in frames. These are a total of 240 frames. Okay, so to get the object, what I'll do is I'll take my mouse over to the nodes network. I'll click on tab. By clicking on tab, a tab menu would open. You can click tab menu to get your tab menu. Just search over here geometry. Whatever you will start with, you will start from here, geometry level. It's nothing, it's just a kind of folder kind of thing. Inside this you will do all of your work. Okay, it is just to get more organized. Then you will go inside your geo tab and you will search. Let's like rename it to my my first project. project. Okay. Okay, so now click on tab again. Then let's assume I want to spawn a get a sphere. I'll click on sphere, I'll click enter, and then I'll get a sphere. Okay, so as you can see in the parameters tab, now we have something. Okay, we have option to choose the primitive type. We can choose the primitive type to be a primitive, to be a polygon, to be a polygon mesh, to be a mesh, to be NURBS, to be Bezier. We'll talk all of this in the coming classes. We'll simply choose polygon, polygon mesh. Here you can choose the connectivity. If you want triangles connectivity, it will be connected as triangles. Okay, I'll simply choose quadrilaterals again. These are the radius, center, rotate. To change the values, you can simply double click and change the values and click enter. This is changing in the x-axis. Okay, so this is the x-axis, this tab over here. This is the y-axis and this is the z-axis, x, y, and z. So you can also change the values by taking your mouse over this user 0.5, clicking the middle mouse button, and now see we have something. Now if I drag my mouse towards the right, it is increasing the value, right? If I take my mouse to the left, it is decreasing the value. Now if I take my mouse upwards towards 1, towards 10, then it would increase the value in tenses, like in 10 tenses, like by 10, it's increasing in the size by 10. If I take my mouse towards downwards over 1, then I would increase the size, it increases the size by 1. Okay, this way you can increase or decrease sizes in simple ways. You can also take your mouse downwards towards 0.001, then it would change the values by that. See? Okay, so now suppose if I have changed something, now I want my default values. So what I'll do is I'll click control on my keyboard and click middle mouse button and click radius. So now we get the default values. Okay, so yeah, we've got the default values. So now suppose if I get lost in my viewport, somewhere in my viewport, then to go back to your viewport, no, you will not be going to find like this, going to search all the area. You'll just simply click on space plus G on your keyboard and you'll get back to your default position. Okay, you can change the uniform scale, you can rotate in the x-axis, y, and z. Simply you can increase the number of rows to make it more smoother. You can decrease it. Okay, you can also change the orientation. Let's keep it in the y-axis only. Now we have a sphere on our node graph. Okay, now let's click on tab again and click box. Now we have box also in our node network. Now to display this, you can see this blue color kind of thing over here on your node. So you'll right click and this is the display one. We call it display, as you can see, display. So when we click display over a node, it will be displaying over our screen. Like if I display sphere, it will display, and if I click box, it would display. Okay, so now simply I can change the values of box also over here, scale and all that. If I want columns, okay, simply I can change the axis divisions. Now You see this option, this purple kind of thing button on your node. So when I click this, it is a template to view the other nodes in your node network. We can use this template to view it. Okay, so like if I'm working on box and I also want to see the sphere, you can template it, template your sphere and work on it accordingly. This is the bypass one. This we'll talk about in later classes, and this is the lock. So now let's bring a transform node. So to connect two nodes, what we'll do is we'll click the output of the node you want to transform and bring it in the input and then display it. Now we usually transform the scale and all that using transform node only. We would not change the default values. This is why Houdini is the most powerful software. Like you can change any value at any point procedurally and it would not affect your scene. Okay, but you have to be really careful. Like you'll understand why I'm saying this in the coming classes. So now let's click on transform. Now transform is basically just nothing, as the name says, transform. It transforms the size, rotation, scale, and all that, and position. Okay. Hmm. Now if I want to transform my box also, then I can simply put the input of box over this one also. Like if I click, if I want a scale of 4, then it would work on both. It would work on sphere also, it would work on box also. Now I want to let you like understand that we are changing the values from this node. By default, nothing is changing to this sphere. Sphere is it in original condition. Like if I transform box, we are transforming this box. We are not doing anything to this. You can template this. We can see the box we transformed. We can click, like we can select this one, we can change the values and we can see the template. Okay, this way we can use the template. If you want to template 2 or more, then you would press hold shift on your keyboard and click template again. You can template both of the objects now. I've templated both sphere box also and sphere also. Okay, so now another node we can talk about is a color node. We can use a color node to color, right? Simply display it. Let's choose a color, simple red color, and it would work on this also. Okay, now let's choose the merge node. A merge. What merge basically do is it merges the nodes. So you can select whatever you want to merge. You can click the output of any of the node and it would select all the selected ones and just put it in input of merge. What merge does is basically is it merges all the things in the network, in the nodes network. If I change the position of sphere, see, now we can see both of the objects we created using a merge with the display, like turning on the display. Okay, so let's do this much only for this class. We'll discuss next part in the next class. So wait for my next lesson. This is going to be a totally good series and you would enjoy it definitely. And we would be working on some projects also very soon. Okay. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and like the video. Thank you. Bye.